AI upscaling. Hey, Doug. What's AI upscaling, man? I got a comment on a short that I need to turn off YouTube's AI upscaling because they can't see the detail on the short of the model, apparently. And also, good morning. Let's start painting table. Make yourself feel better, buddy. Is that new? Okay. So maybe the person might not necessarily know what they're talking about. Okay. So, unlikely to be on one of YouTube's shorts? Thanks. I'm kind of a bit not liking it at the moment. I'm a bit. It's the Agrax Earthshade, so the shadows are really, really dark. So I'm hoping that getting some more layers on it will change it to me, because you know how it is. It seems that you get to a certain point we've discovered, and then they get a bit. You get a bit indecisive. But I think building up these yellows will do it. I'm already feeling a little bit better about the yellows I've done. Yeah, I think we shouldn't write it off just yet. You know, yeah, yeah. I the plan is to have one tonight. Yeah, I'm hoping that this one will work its magic and cheer me up, so I'll be primed to come on tonight. But it depends on the kids as well. But yeah, you go get yourself microwaved, and we'll see. Hopefully, the plan is yes, bud. All right, catch you later. Enjoy your ovening. See you later, bud. Ah! No, I'm liking this more. Now that yellows are on. There's that halfway point. There's a point with every model where it doesn't look right. There's a point. I don't know what it is, but every model seems to have it. It's at different times, but it happens. You think, oh no, I'm not doing a good job with this. Yeah, it's looking better. Oh, the shell on the base. I haven't done any of that. I was going to make a coffee, but I think I'll do the shell, get all the yellows done, and then I know where I've left off. Burp. pretty good. Could go another yellow and then the highlights. I'm thinking another yellow and then the highlights. Right, I'm going to go make a coffee. Francois, hey buddy. It's pretty quiet. Were you here, Francois, yesterday when we were talking to Malako was talking to me about um, sending a letter to Army Painter because I sent it. I sent him a message, being like, "Hey," where I basically sent um, Malaka's letter and a little note from me as well. So, but if you weren't here, then you wouldn't know. But I did that. Yeah, it was nice. Malako kind of gave me a little bit of a nudge in the right direction, pushed me out my comfort zone. It's quite nice actually that he was willing to help. I say he or she is willing to help. Malako, we're just talking about you. Yeah. We're just talking about you. I sent the letter. I sent it as I promised. And I was just saying, yeah, I appreciate the kick up the ass to actually do something like that. It's pretty hard for a shut in to do that kind of thing. So, but I put myself out there. Um, yeah, so thanks for the nudge, man. Appreciate that a great deal. Thanks, man. I really, really appreciate the push. What's the worst that can happen? They say no, you know? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think it's still in the with the teachings of just to do it, you know, for it to not just be a thought, I think is important. So, yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that. It's nice, man. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to know, um, yeah, that you're able to give me a little shove, and it doesn't just apply to like painting because I've had plenty of shoves with painting things, and it's definitely helping with the skills. But that was also nice. Like I appreciate that. Like I like gestures like that. Um, you know, it's easy just to say a thing, but to actually do something to help someone is really nice. So thanks, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate that. Great deal. I know, table, you big softy, but I do like things like that. Ah, yeah, okay. So Warhammer, yeah. So I like the Total War series in the pitch battles, but I don't like that it's turn-based empire building. You know, like the turn-based campaign mode. I don't like that, but I like the pitch battles. But the simple truth is, I don't know enough people to play it. But yeah, I like it. I like those videos you see where they make the big cinematic battles. And I'm sure that they would be crazy good inspiration for painting things. No, I would. My recommendation would be to hold off on the DLCs. The Chaos Dwarves one looks amazing, but I would hold off on all the DLCs because it soon adds up. I would play the base game and see what you like, and then base it on that. That's what I would recommend. Oh well, that's that. There's your recommendation right there. Go for that one. Yeah, if that's your cup of tea. If you keep mentioning them, I'm going to have to start looking into what models I like as well. To be honest, all this talk about because I like skellies. I just like my skellies less Egypty and more armored skellies. Yeah, I think it is too. I am leaning Age of Sigma. I'll be honest. Yeah, I would. I don't know if I'm at the point where I'd be able to fork out for a whole big box of Skaven Tide, but we talked about it, didn't we? And we said that was kind of the way to go. Um, but I need an alternative for the heads for the Stormcast. I'm not so keen on the Stormcast. However, now that we know how to do golds, maybe I do like the heads. You know. My wallet is already gone, man. My wallet. Yeah, shouldn't, for all intensive purposes, buy any more Warhammer. I have more than enough to be getting on with. However, with the stream and getting so much painted, with the increased pace, there could be a few more purchases. Malaka, can I? Have you got any photos of them? Could you slap a photo on the Discord if you have a moment? I'd like to see that. Thanks, X. Takes you back where? I'm curious. Where's it transported? You collected Warhammer as a kid? Oh, it's just assembled. Okay. Let's get in there. I tell you what. Do you know what needs to come back? Do you remember LAN parties? Like, even if you're young, too young to remember them. So basically, when the internet was still fledgling, you would actually network your computers together. So you kind of had to become like a network specialist, and you'd all take your PCs round to a friend's house for a weekend, and then you'd spend a few hours setting it up, and then you sit and play games. And it was obviously, teenage boys doing this at first, but then you could have a few beers as well when it got later. As you got a little bit older, you could have a few beers, and that is and that needs to come back. Like, but it needs to be painting. I think like the LAN party atmosphere needs to come back, but in a model playing kind of format. Just a bunch of guys hanging out with paints, few drinks. I think that would be a lot of fun. Well, you might want to take a look at those Space Marines, because they might be worth a pretty penny. Sorry, Malako. Sorry. Don't mean to make you feel old. I don't mean to make you feel old. But you are. And guess what? You're older now than you were a moment ago. It's only going one way, buddy. Fear the relentless march of time. Yeah, LAN parties. Total Annihilation. The Settlers. What else? Dooms. All the Dooms. Man. Civilization. All top quality games. I still play Civ 6 religiously. I absolutely love it. But I can't not play Germany. It's the Ben and Jerry's cookie dough theory all over again. I can't play anyone other than Germany. The extra districts, the extra military policy card, and the damage against city-states is just too good. Although, ironically, I don't capitalise on the city-state capturing. I don't take over city-states because I like to keep my diplomatic options open. So I tend to push the envoys, because you get that policy later on that gives you, what is it, +2 gold +1 gold per envoy. So you pump up those envoys, and then when that policy hits, you can make some extra money. Couple that with a few other policies, and it's just lethally good fun. Although, ironically, I keep winning cultural victories, and I passively take over empires. Right, so it's just edge highlights on the armor, but I'm going to wait on the edge highlights until I finish the flesh. We've got another layer to get on. So what I need is my blue. I'm going to need Gauze Blaster as well eventually, so I'll take that out. So yeah, these bits of paper, it's just to prevent the Day of Defeat was another LAN game, just to prevent the focusing on the background rather than the model. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little white rectangle that I can just like blue tack to the ceiling on a couple of bits of string, and it will just hang down, so that way I can still reach and get stuff. It just means that your view won't be so great, or mine. But I like decorating the cupboard space. Let's have a look. LAN parties were last week. Yep. I heard that you just released this mod for Half-Life. We should try it soon. Counter-Struck or something. Yeah. Looks like you don't need my help, Malako, on feeling old. I feel like you're managing it all on your own at the moment. You old bastard. Right, let me just drink my coffee. I'll just take my teeth out to do it. Hang on 1 second. Oh, I just thought of another sponsor. Something like FedEx or something. So I wouldn't have to pay awful postage on sending out giveaways. That would be a treat. God knows how you'd ever manage that. You'd have to be like some big balls channel to pull that kind of shizness off. How much blue should I use? I guess there's a relatively large amount of blue. I feel you on that one, Malako. But I feel like it needs, just because it was a long time ago doesn't make them awesome. They were obviously awesome because I feel the same, but I feel like the good old days are not done. We can make new ones. I know it's harder the older you get, but it's still possible. Still possible, just harder because when you're young, everything's geared to you having social circles and having friends. That's the sole thing going on, and it gets harder as an adult because there's that scattering. You scatter from all of those relationships, and then it gets a little bit. Well, not everyone scatters, but I sure as hell scattered going to a different country. But what I'm saying is, don't despair. There's still possibility for good days. This doesn't look like fleshy. Stop looking at the clock, Maleko. Stop looking at the clock. Don't do it to yourself. Stop doing it to yourself. Don't do it. Ooh. That's why you left the highlights table, smart bugger. You just got a bit of blue on the yellow. But when you go around doing the highlights, you can cover it up then. How to make this blue not look so washed out? Blue ink. A little bit of blue ink. That will help me. Yeah, let's put a little tiny bit of Drakenhof Nightshade in my blue. Might need another coat. Maybe. Hi, Spicy. I had to do a double take of your thumb, your little profile picture. Then I thought for a second it might have been something to do with Edge Runners. Hey, Doc. Freshly grilled. How was it? Well, that sounds like it went okay. You're not missed too much. It's been quiet, but I really have made some progress on this guy. Remember, I was saying before you left that I was a bit stuck on it. I wasn't sure if I was liking it. You know that point where you get with every mini where you're like, oh, I'm not sure I'm going right with this. Well, I broke its back. It's coming along a lot nicer now. The yellows just need the edge highlight on them, but it's really coming together now. I love these guys like this. Although part of me thinks that once I get 3 of them, which I have one painted, this one, another one that's not assembled. I think I want one more to actually paint and assemble as the vanilla Neurotyrant. I'm thinking, just because I haven't done one, and maybe it will change my mind on how I feel about them. Swords and lances. Okay, so there's something classically amazing about lances and horses, right? However, in the rule of fiddly pokey, lances can be snapped off, you know? So arguably there's a strong case for swords. What's the exact name for them? What are they called? Vampire. Hex, yeah. Keep on those metal ones. Metal ones tend to be quite valuable. If you want to know about prices and stuff, Francois might be in here. He's pretty clever sausage. He knows about trades and whatnot, and he told me that his metal ones tend to sell the best. So you got yourself some gems there. If you're not going to paint them, then you might be able to make yourself a pretty penny on eBay. So just saying, don't just give them away. I know you've got a track record for giving stuff away, Hex, but you've already done your good deed. Don't be going giving nothing away now. Just hold on to those for you now. You've already been nice enough to your friends. Boop, boop. What I need now is to go and look up Blood Knights. I'll just use what paint I've got on this brush for this digit, and then I will go do that. Just this arm. Man, this colour scheme, I'm so pleased that I finally figured it out. And ironically, this is the one that I'm not so keen on with the Agrax, but I like it a lot now. I think there's something to be said about having really deep shadows. There's something in it that's also really nice. Okay, right. Blood Knights. Blood Knights. I can do that right here. I just happen to have a computer set up. I'm still chewing my way through Dexter. I'm on season 4, and apparently season 4 is the high point of the show, so I don't see the need to go into season 5. I don't know yet. I don't think I will. But there's other stuff to watch. But what next? I don't know. Blood Knights. Do you know what would be really nice? Actually, you've just given me an idea with this chat in Malacco. What would be really nice is that if I was assembling something that someone else was also assembling, like if I thought of that sooner, what I should have done is I should have started assembling the Saturnine Dreadnought at the same time as Dark, and then we could have gone through it in tandem, and then maybe that's the LAN idea, if we're all making the same thing. Hi, Leviathan, thank you. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that. It could use some manipulation. It's very much like a corpse being shocked. Like I live stream, and there's like a little jolt in views, and it goes back to flatline. But I mean, I am seeing a lot of progress, specifically with the painting, which is bloody amazing. But yeah, I've known Leviathan for a long time. Known him when he's a wee little kid. Now he's engaged. Here we go. Blood Knights, Soul Blight, Soul Blight Grave Lords. I can't even talk. I want to find them on the actual Warhammer page, so I want to look at the sprues. Okay, I found them. Ooh. Don't they look fancy? A lot of very dramatic edges, so if you're not too good on the old edge highlights, then you can there's definitely options there. So that's lances. The one thing that puts me off the lances is the big blob of fabric on the end. Oh, they can have maces. Maces trump swords currently. I'm not seeing the swords. I'm seeing lances. Oh, in one of them, one looks like, no, that's a mace. I'm seeing them with maces. I would say, in light of how they look, I wouldn't go lances. I'd go short weapons. But you got to go with, yeah. I'm only seeing an example of a mace as opposed to a sword. But they're nice looking models, aren't they? Jesus. The shields are just. It looks like Dehedric armor, frankly. That banner, jeez, that is. They're pretty tasty, not gonna lie. Pretty tasty. Does being a YouTube Premium viewer give me more or less the same money? As far as advertising is concerned, honestly, I don't know. I think that if we're going with algorithm, what I'm going with is I don't know which one goes with putting up the ad revenue. I don't know. I don't know if it's views or a combination of views and watch time. I think it's the amount of time something's watched. I don't know. I have no idea. No idea, guys. I don't know, Leviathan. I don't know which way it works. I don't know. I'm sure what you're doing is good in some capacity, but I'm not sure in what way. But it's nice. It's nice to have the YouTube thing going again. It's nice to have found something that I'm able to do in my time poor state. I know, yes, I'm on the streams loads, but I am combining hobbies and trying to stop being socially so janky. So it's a multiple prong attack on that one. So I can justify being on streams. I'm just rambling now. But also, I will say that I'm sure it helps, but I don't think one person doing it makes much of a splash. I'm sure it makes some difference, but I don't know in what capacity is most effective, if that makes sense. But I like streaming, man. I like it because it's all your time is spent on and hanging out. Like, there's no like behind the scenes sorting out of videos. There's nothing involved. Like, yeah, I've got to do a bit of clicky clacking when I first start up the stream, but then other than that, it's just me hanging out for the whole time, and that's definitely more me. I never would have thought after all these years that streaming would finally get working because of having to get a new phone because my old phone broke. Like, who would have thought that would have come together? It was pure fluke that we're all sitting here today doing this. Pure accident. But that just reaffirms it that it's the right move. Boop. But yeah, it would be nice if the ad revenue went up. If the ad revenue was at, let's say, if the ad revenue went up to 10 a day, 10 a day, that's enough that's enough playing around with money to start sending stuff out, I would say. But I don't know how to get this there. Yeah, okay, so Bud Knights. Yeah, I decided. Not Lances. I would go with Maces and Swords. Just because they're so, like, demony, you know? Like, if they were smooth, full plate Knights, then maybe Lancers, like, if they were Bretonians. But I think the way they look, maybe. Oh, but then the lore. No, I'd go short. I'd go Swords. I actually have some slave. I have a Slaves to Darkness box. You're painting them for Sigma, right? Are you making them for Sigma? I could do cavalry as well. Hang on, I do have it. I've got it somewhere. To start collecting Slaves to Darkness. Let me know. Malako, are you doing that cavalry? Yeah, you're doing it for Sigma. You know what? I might crack out my Chaos Cavalry, and we can do it at the same time. That's not a bad idea. I think you're slowly pushing me towards Age of Sigma. You know what? I could go for some cavalry. It won't be the same cavalry, but I'm going to have a look for that box. I think I'm gonna get that cavalry. Although I want the chaos to be old world, but they're the new cavalry, so they might not fit on the bases right. Whoa, we got ourselves a little bit of a bind. Magnetize them, you say? Magnetize the bases? You goddamn genius, Malako. What a great idea. Swap out the bases. Give them a tactical rock and put a magnet in it. Yeah, there we go. Problem solved, table. You clever bastard. Although, it's your idea. Is there any way to magnetize the weapon options? Like if you magnetize the whole arm, well, I guess you wouldn't be able to do that actually. Oh, yeah, it's you got a little bit of a problem on your hands deciding. Yeah, I think that the lances do the charging. I could be wrong, but I would say that you get the charge bonus because of the lance. Like, just based on how lances work in military, so it's like the initial hit, isn't it? So, oh, so rules wise, the weapon makes no difference. Oh, okay. Well, that's a nice bonus. Whoa, that's a big old blob of a highlight. Brr. Whoa. Okay. Microwave pasta. 15 minutes. So it's actual pasta you're microwaving, not microwave pasta. Never thought it was possible. Oh. Sounds like we got a decision. Oh, those are the options. So you can have lancers or swords. So they don't have a. So it's is it lance and shield or two swords, or is it sword and shield, sword and lance? Because the shields are so nice that might swing me to going with the lances because of the shields being so pretty. I need more information. Sword and shield. I'm a sword and shield. I'm a sword and shield, but like flip a coin, Malako. Flip a coin and say heads, like heads. Pick heads for one, sword and shields for the other. And then whilst it's in the air, the coin, you kind of know what you want it to be. I stole that from a film, I think, but it works. Like whatever you think. What? Yeah, you know, you already know the choice, and if you don't know, then you need to look into magnetizing. Or buy a second box, but that's maybe excessive considering their price. Although that was Warhammer price, that's not third party price. The lance has the flag. Yeah, that flag is insane. How thick were the lances? They looked quite thick. Like, would they survive if you dropped it? That's the question. What do you think? If you dropped it with the lance, do you think it would not break? Yeah. Is there such a thing as blood knights on foot? That's the issue, isn't it? That's the issue. It's reassuring to hear I'm not the only one who's so susceptible to such things. Why are friggin' model figures so? Why are they so bloody fun? Why is it so fun? I don't get it. Yeah, they got you. I'm actually holding out. I'm holding out okay. Since doing the streaming, I haven't bought anything. I haven't, and that's genuine. I haven't actually bought. So yeah, I'm just worried that when I do, I'll go large with money that I shouldn't be spending. Does that make sense? Like, you kind of hold off, and then you buy something. You're like, I want 10 things. Maybe you can relate to that. I don't know, but. Saturnine Terminators, yeah. I really need to sit down with those. I'm thinking that I'll get my Terminators done and reward myself with the Saturnine, but the issue is I feel like my Terminator painting game has improved since these Terminators. So if I get them done, then I'm thinking a lot of gold. Gold and white. Gold and my white and my greys. That's what I'm thinking. Sanding random house objects. No, I don't tend to remove mold lines on things around the house or sand them. But I do remove random mold lines on models. Didn't always do mold lines. Just used to leave them on. But you kind of. I'm like, I'm spending more time on this, so I should really get into doing that. But if you've got a little electric hand sander, go for it. Well, it probably is. I mean, it's cheaper chips furniture, isn't it? Do I use magnifying glasses? This light of mine has one. If I just move it down, you see it's got a big old lens. But the issue is that you have to hold it a certain distance for it to magnify, and it's not too. It's so near that when I use inks and washes, it just splashes on the lens. So no, I'm just using my eyes on these ones. Yeah, just using my eyes, just leaning around the edge of the phone. I do occasionally look at the phone screen to have a look, but that's just to make sure that it's in focus. Mostly I'm just using my eyes. I'm not against magnifying, but no, I bought a pair once, but it was cheapo Chinese brand, and it was just rubbish. It was just a gimmick, didn't work at all. I'm not against wearing lenses to help with the painting. I don't know if I'm there yet with the skill level, but okay, blue's done. That's really looking something special now. Just needs the edge highlights on the yellow, the pink on the brains, and the Gauze Blaster green on the flesh. Guys, I'm out of time. I'm sorry, I gotta go get the kids. The plan is to be on tonight. Thank you again, guys. Like, I was in such a horrid mood when I started the stream. I was so cranky, but now just be able to sit down and work on that. I feel much better, so hopefully more of the same this evening. Thanks, guys. If you haven't already, I'm going to ask, slap a like on it for me if you can. Like, come on, let's get this ad revenue going up. If you could do anything, if you're willing to. I shouldn't ask, but I did. I'll catch up with you later on, guys. Plan is to be on tonight, and hopefully I'll see you then. If not, then you know why. I'll see you later. Bye. Thanks again.